Hey guys, hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. I am going on what looks like my last trip until June. I'll be on TAJ for the rest of April. How do you like this? But the odds of them using me are infinitesimal. So I do anticipate this to be my last trip until the end, until June at least. We'll see what happens. This was supposed to be a 3-day trip, one leg to Baltimore, 22 hours in Baltimore, and then one leg back to Las Vegas. It was supposed to be. I got a call from a coworker who notified me of the change in my schedule. Crew scheduling called me about an hour ago. Of course, I was already at the airport. But we are still working one leg to Baltimore. Then we're going to deadhead 5 hours later, 5 hours and 2 minutes later, we're going to deadhead to Orlando. And we're going to sleep in Orlando. We do have a room in Baltimore. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. For those 5 hours. So we land in Orlando. We sleep in Orlando. Then we deadhead to Detroit. We have 31 hours in Detroit. And then we deadhead, yes, back to Vegas on day 4. I have to assume it's because there are very few flights flying right now, and there's no easy way to get us back to Las Vegas. But I think one of my coworkers mentioned that one of our deadheads is actually on a Delta flight. So I don't know if Southwest flies out of Baltimore everywhere. So I don't know why they're not deadheading us on Southwest back to Vegas, but whatever. I'm going to look into what is available out of probably Orlando, because I'll want to sleep in Baltimore. We only have a 5-hour room in Baltimore. So I'm going to see if there's nothing leaving from Orlando to Las Vegas on day 2 of this trip. So I can maybe get home sooner. So, yeah, this is going to be a wacky trip. We're on a 320 that holds 182 passengers with our configuration. Oh, we're boarding. We have 74 passengers booked. Hey guys, hello. So I am in the hotel room here in Baltimore. We have a 5-hour sit or a 5-hour 2-minute sit, something like that. When we have a 4-hour sit or greater, up to 5 hours, we're supposed to get a hotel room at our hotel for that city, typically at a short stay hotel. If it's under 5 hours, if there's a same-sex group of people, say there are 2 people, they would share a room. If there is, like in this case, we have 2 girls and 1 boy, the girls would share a room and I would get my own room. If it's over 5 hours, we would each get our own hotel room, as is the case here in Baltimore. So I came to the hotel room here in Baltimore. My crewmates, the 2 ladies I'm flying with this month, or were flying with this month, I'm not quite sure what they're trying to do, actually. They weren't really communicating with me very well. They were trying to scoot off. I think they were trying to get a Southwest flight back to Vegas, honestly. Because if you remember me describing this trip, it's just really working one leg here to Baltimore and then 3 days, not just 3 legs, it is just 3 legs, but 3 days of deadheading. So I think they were trying to get an alternate deadhead back to Las Vegas, or they were trying to get an earlier flight to Orlando, which is our next, technically supposed to be our next leg. So I'm not quite sure what they were doing, but they were hustling off to whatever gate that was, and I didn't know what they were doing, what their plans were, and I was having a real hard time finding the correct password for the app we would use to log in for a Southwest flight, to list for a Southwest flight. So I was just kind of trailing behind them, trying to figure out on my phone with one finger as I'm pulling my bags through the airport, trying to keep up. I was trying to log into, I think it's MyID Travel, to log in for Southwest, and I was having no luck. They're racing ahead, so I'm just like, fine, guys, I'll see you where I see you. And they were like, bye. Okay. Great, thanks. I appreciate that. So I just managed to catch the shuttle before it left here to the hotel in Baltimore. I'm going to take a nap, have a snack or two, and then head back to the airport for my next flight, and that is going to be a deadhead from Baltimore to Orlando. And there you go. I will talk to you guys probably on the deadhead. All right, so I'm on the plane. I had let's say a 2-hour nap. It was not as refreshing as I would have liked. You know, those times you take a nap and you're kind of groggy afterwards, and that's exactly where I was. But I got to the airport. I'll be deadheading to Orlando. I have about 13 hours there, and then I'll be deadheading to Detroit tomorrow for 31 hours. That'll be good. It'll be a good time to film a video. All right, so I will see you in Orlando. Hey guys, all right, so I made it to Orlando. It is absolutely a perfect day in Orlando. The sun is shining, the gorgeous white puffy clouds, and it's got to be, oh, I don't know, it's in the 80s, and it's just beautiful. Unfortunately, the pool is closed, everything is closed. Womp womp. So I'm going to hang out in my hotel room. I only have like 13 hours anyway, and I did get a nap on that flight, but I'm super tired. So I think what I'll do is I'll just heat up some food in my Hot Logic Mini and then just get a full solid night's sleep for my very busy day tomorrow. A deadhead to, where am I going? Detroit. All right, well, I will see you at the hotel room. Hey guys, all right, so I'm in the hotel room in Orlando. I've just arrived, and yes, the wall color is as bad as it looks. It's almost as bad as the wall color in the hotel room in Boston. Oh, awful. But, so yeah, it was very, very funny. As I got off the shuttle here at the hotel in Orlando, one of my crew members was getting on the shuttle to go back to the airport. The two of them, my other crewmates, got an alternate airline, a different airline. I'm not quite sure. It could have been Southwest or American. I'm not sure. But they got an earlier flight here to Orlando. Now, I don't know what the rush was because they ended up in Orlando. I personally made the right choice for me to go to the hotel room in Baltimore and sleep because I needed a nap for some reason. I got plenty of sleep yesterday, but I needed a nap. So I was fine with going to the hotel room in Baltimore. I had a very nice flight from Baltimore here. The whole crew was pretty super junior. The most senior person on that plane was like 7 or 8 months in. The most junior just graduated. She graduated from our last class, and she graduated the last class for a while. I'm not quite sure when we're going to be having another training class, but she was super, super new. Super nice. She's staying at a different hotel. But let's see. What was I going to tell you? Oh, so my coworker, my crewmate, she was going back to Las Vegas. She had been released from our trip, and because the rest of our trip is just deadheads. She was released, and then she found another flight to go from Orlando to Las Vegas. And the other crewmate of mine is apparently staying and taking the deadhead tomorrow, or she's taking a different flight, but she's staying in a hotel tonight. Now, I bring up this only because I don't think I've ever described what an alternate deadhead is. Deadheading, as you know, we sit in the passenger seat. We really don't work the flight, but we have to be in uniform just in case we have to actually become part of the active crew in case someone gets ill, or if there's whatever. There's a whole bunch of reasons you could be made to work a flight. But when you are, your last legs of a trip are deadheading back to base, you can call crew scheduling and ask to be released. Now, they can release you from the trip so that you can get another flight with either with your airline or another airline to where you're going. Now, they can release you. The trick is, with our contract, they can assign us another trip if they need us immediately. If when we call them, they say, "Oh, hi, we're so glad you called. We really need you to work this leg to da." They can do that. They can do that. But if they can't say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called. We need you right now." If they put you on hold and say, "Oh, hold on one moment," and then they come back and say, "Oh, we have a trip we'd like you to work in, in 2 or 3 hours." No, sorry, you can't do that. So the rules are pretty cool. They are allowed to use us, but they need to use us immediately. If they don't use us immediately, they must release us from that trip, which is pretty fantastic. Now, I have the option right now of calling the airline to be released from this trip. And then I would have the rest of tonight, tomorrow, all day tomorrow, to find an alternate route back to Las Vegas. And I would get back to see my cats all the sooner, which is really nice, and not be out on the road in different hotels, flying in different aircraft. But, and I would normally do that. If this was normal flying, if this was not an IROP, seriously IROP situation, I would alternate deadhead, because there's really no reason for me to stay here for 13 hours, go to the airport at 4:30 in the morning, fly to Baltimore, Detroit, and stay there for 31 hours, and then fly back to Las Vegas on a 4-hour flight. There's no reason for me to do that, because I could just go home and stay with my cats. But my thought is, I'm going to be at home with my cats for the next 6 weeks. I love my cats. I would take a bullet. I really would take a bullet for my cat. I would die for my cats. But, it is occasionally nice to be able to sleep past 5:30 in the morning and not be, woken up for cat treats. It's nice once in a while. Anyone who has children might recognize the fact that sometimes it's nice to be away from the kids. So this is probably the last time in at least 6 weeks that I'm going to be able to actually sleep in without being woken up, to be able to do some work on my laptop without a cat sitting on the laptop, and without hearing Buddy crying piteously like he is the most abused child in the world, to go outside, because he would really rather spend most of his day outside. So I think I'm going to, I might change my mind, but I think I'm going to continue with these deadheads, just because this is probably one of the last times in, again, a month and a half, that I'm going to have a respite from my beloved, because I love them, my beloved cats. After this, I'll have 6 weeks, unless something strange happens and crew scheduling calls me for a trip. I'm on TAJ. They could technically call me, but the odds are just zero. Yeah, so I think I'm going to enjoy these layovers as a little vacation from the kiddies. And then when I get home, settle in for the long haul. There we go. So let me give you a quick room tour so I can show you what a less than fabulous room looks like. This is not my favorite room. A quick room tour because that's not very big. Ooh, guys, hi. So I'm in Detroit, and it's only because I have calmed down during our 2-hour and 17-minute flight that I can speak to you like a human being. I was raging. I have rarely been so upset at work. So I was supposed to deadhead today from Orlando to Detroit. We had a show time of 5:15 a.m. I happened, because it's so early and I've learned my lesson, I take a very early shuttle no matter what. So I happened to be at the airport early enough, waiting for my deadhead. The crew shows up, they all get on board. I didn't count the number of people on the crew because I didn't have to think about it. I was deadheading. Well, I wait for the crew to get on. They're about to start boarding, and I go up to the gate agent. I don't want to like jump all over them before I am supposed to. Hey guys, future Steven here. I was just putting this video together and I realized for some reason my camera stopped filming while I was talking to you and telling you why I was so upset. Let me finish this real quick story. So I watched the crew get on the aircraft. I wasn't counting how many crew members were boarding because I didn't care. I was going to be a deadhead. And when I went up to the gate agent to say, hey, I'm checking into deadhead, she looked for the paperwork and she didn't see my name. I wasn't listed as a deadhead. Those of you who are flight attendants know what I'm going to say next. Hi, sweetheart. I was working. I called crew scheduling because I wasn't listed as a deadhead and they're supposed to have me listed. So I called crew scheduling. It was like, hey, hi, my name is Steven. My number is this. For some reason, I'm not listed as a deadhead in this flight. And they went, oh, because you're working the flight. And it was like, excuse me? Pardon me? And a combination, the magic combination of the dismissing tone that person used, the fact that I was not notified of this, the fact that I just happened to be at the airport in time for this to work the flight. Do you ever step out into the street, you're texting, and you just happen to step out into the street, you almost get hit by a car, and that sense of adrenaline, like, oh my God, oh my God. Well, like, I almost showed up late for work because I didn't know I was working the flight. Yeah, so I was bull crap mad, and I told the person on the line on crew scheduling, I'm like, there's a select few words I would like to share with you, but I can't because I know this is a recorded line. And she says to me, well, we have to be professional with each other. And I said, the last thing you are doing is being professional. There are a ton of reserves in this base. This is a base, and yet you have chosen to make me work this flight. Oh, I was so mad. Oh, all right. And I did jinx myself, though. I did jinx myself because I had been telling the chaser who was on the shuttle, I told her how much I hated deadheading sometimes and that I'd rather work a flight sometimes. So God heard me and went, oh, really? Okay. All right. So I'm going to pull my blanket back down, finish editing this video, and then turn over and go to sleep. So I will see you later. All right, tours always start in the bathroom. Nice light. It is small. It's not the smallest I've seen before, but it reminds me a lot of a cruise ship lavatory or a bathroom. Door, mirror, adjoining door, which does not make me happy. Weird desk, ancient flat screen TV. It's ancient. Speaking of ancient, this thing is like from 1985. I swear. I remember this. I swear. It's from 1985. Big fridge, which is definitely working. It's cold. I checked that out after my last experience with warm food. My lunch bag, my beloved Magecto lunch bag. Finally, 2 years, I think it's almost 2 years I've been using this, it sprung a leak and the inside was all wet. So before it gets mildewy, I thought I would dry it out. I do have an extra liner I'll find. I don't know where it is. Here's my view. There you go. It's not that bad. Of course, the parking lot isn't that pretty, but that would be nice in the spring when the reeds are all green. It's a little pond. And then we have a rather benign little chair. And this expansive bed. The bed, it's a king-size bed. I'm still walking. It's a huge bed. And it's nice and firm, which is great. I did not have a where are you? There you are. I did not have a backache after last night. The bed last night was way too soft for my taste, but it was actually pretty comfortable. I slept really, really well. Yeah, this is a sad little room I'm stuck in for 30 hours. But I'm going to make the best of it with good food, video games, and I'll be filming a video for you guys to watch later on. All right, have a great day. I will see you if something happens while I'm here in Detroit. Otherwise, I'll be seeing you tomorrow for Go Home Day to Las Vegas. Bye. Hey guys. All right, so I'm in Detroit still. It's about 2 o'clock. I have an hour to clean my room, and you'll see what I have to clean in a moment. I'm going to show you what my hotel room looks like after a layover. And then jump in the shower. I feel like I have macaroni and cheese in my mustache. Jump in the shower and then get ready to head to the airport. I believe I'm deadheading. Who knows these days? So I believe I'm deadheading back to Las Vegas today, one leg. And I'm looking forward to going home. I am a little anxious about not working for the next 6 weeks. I'm comforted by it at the same time because I really can't afford to get, desperately ill. The sun is out. The clouds are puffy and beautiful. It's a nice day out there. But let me show you my room. And this is what my room frequently looks like after I've been in it for a long time. Wait. Yeah, that is what... This isn't even a setup. This isn't even arranged. This is just what the desk looks like. I've been gorging on chocolate bars. Thank you, Andrea. Macaroni and cheese. I had some tea last night. I'm watching one of my favorite YouTubers, the Chocolate Stew. I love Tracy. Go check out her channel if you haven't already. The trash bin is marked as recyclables, but there's no other trash bin. So I've been putting all of my garbage in this paper bag. So hopefully if they do recycle, they're not throwing the trash in there. And I'm doing some coloring. I bought an adult coloring book a long time ago. And this one is a peacock with flowers. And it says fantastic as, and I had to cover that word with a pencil just in case, because it's fantastic as if you get that. The whole book is made up of I bought this in, where did I buy it? San Francisco, like 6 months ago, thinking I would use it on layovers, and I haven't. But yeah, no, I did it because I got tired of playing video games and watching YouTube. All right, so there you go. There's my hotel room after a layover. Hey guys, all right, so I'm still in Detroit. I've started to clean up my mess, but I got distracted by checking my emails. And one of my subscribers sent me an email, and she was asking if I would ever possibly do a video about my relationship as it was with my mom. And she described a couple, she talked a little bit in her email about the topic and maybe how she or other people could potentially identify with that strained, challenged relationship, and what it was like, and then maybe talk about how I'm feeling after she passed. I don't know. It'd be an interesting video. I'd have to really sit down and sort of write it all out so I can put it into some sort of form before filming that. We'll see. It would be a difficult video for me, but I share everything else with you guys, right? So who knows? But she also mentioned in the body of her email that she had just graduated. She's one of the last graduating classes of SkyWest. And she wrote a little bit about what SkyWest is doing for those new hires, even though they're not able to fly yet because they haven't done their OEs or their IOEs. SkyWest is still stepping up and being really good guys. I have to say, I'm really impressed with SkyWest. That rhymed. Back, a while ago when I was on a Facebook page called Flight Attendant Career Connections, I was active on that page, and it got kind of toxic and I was kind of attacked a little bit. So I just withdrew from that page, as much as it hurt me because I really enjoyed it. But, a couple of things I always noticed. The people on that page who always talked about how much they loved their jobs were people with my airline and with SkyWest. And now I have a little clue as to why, and Southwest, obviously. But SkyWest people always seem to really, really be proud of their airline and how they were treated. And now I have a little clue. So I'm super impressed with SkyWest. If you work for them, good for you. You're working for a good group of people. I'm really impressed by them. So, all right, blah, blah, blah. I need to clean this mess up and jump in the shower. I'll talk to you later. All right, is anyone old enough to remember the movie Night of the Comet? It was my favorite 80s sort of disaster flick. The Earth passes through a tail of a comet, and everyone who witnesses it is reduced to a pile of dust. There's a couple sort of zombie characters, but outside of that, you have like a handful of teenagers who have the rule of town. And this is kind of feels like Night of the Comet in that there's just no one around. You'd think you get used to it, but this is still very deeply unsettling. All right, so I'm here about an hour early. Mostly because the shuttle that would have been closer to my show time, I just didn't want to, I don't like risking being late to the gate, and I'm not doing anything in my hotel room anyway but coloring, so I figured I'd come here, download a movie or two to my tablet, and get prepared for my deadhead. Oddly enough, there's one store open. It's the equivalent of Hudson News. It's like a newspaper, magazine, candy shop. That store is open. How strange is that? All right. I'll see you guys either on the plane or in Las Vegas. Hey guys. All right, so I'm on the plane in Detroit. I got a big front seat. Very excited. I'm not working this flight. I will see you in Vegas. This view never gets old. Guys, I am out of shape. I just went running for the bus, and it wasn't my bus. I dragged my lunch bag behind me and bouncing all over the place. But I am here in Las Vegas, and clearly, yes, I found the hyperlapse feature on my phone. I thought it was kind of fun. I've seen, I've used the hyperlapse feature before, but I don't know what I would ever use it for really, other than doing something like flying into or out of an airport for fun. So I just tucked some music on there, which I can do with my phone. And there you go, some fun little clips. I am going to be taking the bus home because an Uber would cost me about $14 tonight, and I'm unwilling to spend that much money on an Uber tonight. When I get home, I'm going to take all of this off, and then before I eat, because I'm hungry, before I eat, the cats are really going to want some attention, which is fine with me. And I'm going to overfeed them treats because I have a surplus of them right now, thanks to my subscribers. Although, who knows how long that will last, right? So I'm going to give them some treats and give Buddy some scratches. I almost called Claire Olive, which is the name of a dog in Boston. I'm going to give... I almost call her Olive again. Give Claire some scratches and some love. Eleanor will scoot under the table, and she won't let me scratch her right away. She'll come for some love later on. But I think this video is done. I am toast. Very happy to be home. The last thing I do have to do before I go to bed tonight is call crew scheduling. Maybe I'll send them an email. I'll send them an email because I really don't want to talk to them. Because I am owed a DOR, a day of restoration. The trip I was scheduled to be on was a 3-day. They made it a 4-day, and it was a mess, as you witnessed. So they owe me a day off. Clearly, I'm not desperate for a day off because I'll have the next 6 weeks off. But I think I will be able to use a DOR for 2 months, which would put it in the beginning half of June. So who knows? We'll see if they can give me one. If they won't, I won't die. All right, hey, there's my boss. Very excited. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Fly safe. Bye.